Every single day, Americans eat so much Panda Express Orange Chicken that it adds up to more than 100 million pounds a year. Yeah, you heard that right. A dish that didn't even exist before 1987 is now the face of American Chinese food. But what if I told you that orange chicken doesn't have much orange in it at all? Oh yes, that sweet, tangy, and crispy taste you think are from China's cookbooks was actually engineered here in America. And it was engineered to hook you hard. So today we're cracking the code. The secrets behind how Panda Express made America fall in love with this sticky glaze. The truth hiding on the nutrition label, and the stories they'd rather you didn't know. This isn't dinner. This is the story of how Panda Express built an empire. Walk into any Panda Express. Doesn't matter if it's a mall food court in Ohio, a drive-thru in Arizona, or an airport terminal in New York. The line is long, the trays are sliding, and almost every other order has the same thing: orange chicken. It's not just a menu item, it's the identity of the brand. Since the late 80s, Panda Express has exploded into over 2,300 locations. And orange chicken is the engine behind that growth. Think about it. Most fast food chains have a signature burger or a flagship sandwich. For Panda, it's a bowl of glossy fried chicken bites that somehow became America's default version of Chinese food. That obsession didn't happen by accident. Panda engineered it. From the crunch of the batter to the sugar-salt balance in the sauce, every bite is designed to light up your taste buds like a switchboard. The psychology of flavor, the nostalgia of mall food, and the clever marketing all fused into one dish that America couldn't put down. But how did this Frankenstein of flavors get created in the first place? That's where the story gets good. Before orange chicken became what it is, Panda Express was just a small family gamble. Andrew Churn came to the US from China by way of Taiwan, chasing opportunity in California. In 1973, he and his father opened their first sit-down restaurant, Panda Inn, in Pasadena. But the turning point didn't come until 1983, when a mall developer liked Panda Inn so much, he invited the Churns to open a fast food version in his brand new shopping center. That gamble became the very first Panda Express. Same flavors, quicker service, served on trays for teenagers and families rushing between stores. It was a hit. But here's where it gets spicy. 4 years later, in 1987, the Churns brought in a Hong Kong-born chef named Andy Cao. His mission was to create a dish that would feel both familiar and brand new. Cao looked to a traditional Hunan recipe called Chen Pi, chicken cooked with dried tangerine peel, chilies, and soy. He knew the dish was too sharp for the average American, so he stripped the bitterness, turned up the sweetness, and built a glaze that was equal parts orange extract, sugar, vinegar, soy sauce, and chili. That magic sauce, combined with chicken and a starch-heavy coating, gave birth to the ever-famous orange chicken. The first test batches were rolled out quietly, and the reaction was instant. People went nuts for it. Customers weren't just ordering a plate, they were coming back in line to order seconds. And just like that, Panda Express had found its Big Mac. By the 90s, orange chicken was everywhere, and the obsession only grew. Today, Panda Express estimates they sell over 100 million pounds of orange chicken every single year, which is really wild. A recipe invented less than 4 decades ago now feeds America like a national dish. But the story doesn't stop at the invention. The way it's cooked, the science behind the glaze, and the secrets hiding in the ingredient list are just as wild. And when you find out what the orange actually is, let's just say it's not what you think. Alright, let's crack open the recipe. Because what makes orange chicken so addictive isn't magic. It's the perfect combination of ingredients. Start with the chicken. Panda Express doesn't use white meat here. They stick to dark meat, chopped into bite-sized chunks. Why? Dark meat keeps its juiciness even after frying, and it holds up better when it's tossed in sauce. If they used breast meat, half your order would turn dry and stringy before you even sat down. Next comes the batter. This isn't your grandma's fried chicken dredge. It's a starch-heavy coating mixed with flour, egg, and a few other binders. That combination forms a shield around each piece, locking in moisture and giving you that crunch that actually survives a sauce bath. Think of it like bubble wrap for chicken. Once it's battered, the chicken hits the fryer. Oil temp matters here. Too low and the crust turns greasy. Too high and it burns before the inside cooks. Panda runs it hot enough to lock in that golden brown color with a crisp that sings when you bite down. Now, the sauce. This is where the orange illusion happens. It's not exactly fresh squeezed juice from a crate of oranges in the back. It's a formula built for consistency. Sugar, soy sauce, vinegar, chili flakes, garlic, and here's the twist, 0 real orange. That bright citrus hit you always tasted every time you took a bite? That's the orange extract. If you're one of many who believe actual oranges are used, now you know. But there's more to the formula than just the lack of a real orange. You see, the balance of the orange chicken is expertly calculated. Sweet enough to hit the pleasure sensors, salty enough to keep you reaching for rice, tangy enough to feel refreshing, and just a tickle of heat so you don't scare off spice-adverse eaters. It's not subtle, it's designed to hit hard. But let's be honest, part of the appeal is how repeatable it is. Doesn't matter if you're in a mall in Texas or an airport in Seattle, that sauce tastes the same. The secret is in the prep. The bulk ingredients are made off-site, shipped out, and then finished in-store in the wok. That way, you still get the sizzle, the steam, and the crunch right in front of you. It's half theater, half factory line. And it works every single time. Next, let's talk about what's actually going into your body when you order a plate of orange chicken. Because, while the flavor is unstoppable, the numbers will make you raise an eyebrow. Let's take a look at the calories first. One entree-sized serving of orange chicken, about 5.7 ounces, clocks in at roughly 420 calories. Sounds fine until you realize that's without sides. Add a box of chow mein or fried rice, and suddenly your meal can tip over 1,000 calories before you even crack open a fortune cookie. And if you're anything like most people, you're not stopping at one entree. Now, sodium. This is the real kicker. The FDA recommends staying under 2,300 milligrams a day. A single serving of orange chicken plus chow mein already puts you near half that limit. Stack it with a second entree, say Beijing beef or honey walnut shrimp, and you're blasting past the halfway mark in one sitting. No wonder your fingers swell after a big Panda run. And sugar? That glossy sauce isn't just sticky for show. It's carrying added sugar that spikes the sweetness. That hit is part of why the dish is addictive. It lights up the reward sensors in your brain the same way a soda does. Sweet plus salty plus crunchy equals just one more bite. Here's something Panda likes to spotlight. No MSG added. And technically, they're right. But what they don't shout is that natural glutamates are still in the soy sauce and other ingredients. That savory, umami punch is still there. It's just coming from naturally occurring sources. Marketing spin at its finest. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Panda actually offers a Walk Smart label for dishes under 300 calories and at least 8 grams of protein. It's their way of saying, see, we've got balance. You can actually build a Panda plate that hits lighter, like pairing grilled teriyaki chicken with steamed rice or mixed veggies. Doesn't mean it tastes like orange chicken, but hey, it's a smarter swap when you want it. Still, nobody walks into Panda Express expecting a kale smoothie. You go for comfort, nostalgia, and flavor that punches. And once you know the numbers, you can hack the menu. Half orange chicken, half veggies, side of steamed rice. This combo means you get the yummy flavors, but with less guilt. So yeah, the ledger has some scary lines. But it's also part of what makes orange chicken so orange chicken. Sweet, salty, indulgent, and engineered to keep you hooked. Alright, we've talked flavor, crunch, and comfort. But Panda Express hasn't always been about glossy sauce and smiling pandas. Behind the orange glaze, there are stories the company would probably rather you didn't dwell on. Let's start with one of the most shocking. In 2021, A former employee filed a lawsuit claiming she was forced to attend a self-improvement seminar sponsored by Panda Express. At this retreat, she said participants were pressured into humiliating exercises, at one point stripping down to their underwear in front of strangers. The lawsuit described it as cult-like, and the coverage from the Los Angeles Times and Washington Post blew up fast. Panda responded by saying they took the allegations seriously and would investigate. The case was eventually settled, but the story left a strange stain on the brand. Not exactly the kind of team building you expect from a fast food chain. Then there's the 2018 Department of Justice settlement. Panda Express was accused of discriminating against non-US citizens in its hiring paperwork process. They ended up paying fines and back pay as part of the agreement. It wasn't front-page news, but for a company that brands itself as family-friendly and immigrant-rooted, it was an uncomfortable headline. Packaging has also sparked concern. In 2022, Consumer Reports tested packaging from dozens of fast food chains and found PFAS, those forever chemicals linked to health risks, in grease-resistant wrappers. Panda Express was on that list. Now, before you panic, here's the update. By early 2024, the FDA announced that PFAS-treated food wrappers were voluntarily phased out in the US. Still, for customers who eat out often, it raised questions about what invisible extras might be tagging along with their noodles. Now, beyond official controversies, Panda's also a magnet for myths. The internet is full of claims that they load everything with MSG or don't use real chicken. The truth? Their ingredient list clearly says no added MSG, though natural glutamates from soy sauce still bring the umami punch. And yes, it's real chicken. Dark meat, breaded, fried, and sauced. The mystery is less sinister than people think. It's just flavor engineering at scale. Still, the combination of lawsuits, packaging scares, and health advisories makes Panda more complicated than the glossy image on their takeout boxes. For most fans, though, none of it changes their order. Orange Chicken still sells over 100 million pounds a year. People shrug at the headlines and go right back for that sticky glaze. And that's the paradox. Panda Express is both comfort food and controversy. A brand engineered for flavor, but not immune to the messy realities of running a massive fast food empire. So, after all the recipes, secrets, and scandals, here's the real question. Why does Orange Chicken still dominate? Why hasn't America moved on? Because at its core, it's comfort food in disguise. Sweet enough to hit the candy-craving part of your brain, salty enough to keep you reaching for more, tangy enough to feel bright, and crispy enough to trick you into thinking it's lighter than it is. It's engineered joy, packed into bite-sized pieces. But it's also nostalgia. For a lot of us, Orange Chicken isn't just food, it's a memory. It's grabbing a plate at the mall food court after school. It's a road trip stop where everyone finally agreed on one place. It's sneaking in a second scoop while your friends argue about sides. Those little moments stick, and Panda has turned them into a billion-dollar brand. And there's consistency. No matter what city you're in, the Orange Chicken tastes the same. That reliability is powerful. It feels safe, familiar, and dependable in a world where everything else changes too fast. So yeah, the controversies are real. The nutrition panel isn't pretty. But at the end of the day, America chose this dish as its Chinese-American comfort food. And it's not letting go anytime soon. The only real question is, what should we crack open next? Beijing beef, black pepper chicken, or maybe that infamous orange chicken burrito? Drop your pick in the comments, because this story isn't done yet.